Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you've had a really good week so far. I feel like I haven't sat down and spoken to you guys in ages, so I thought we'd do a little bit of a catch up and a little bit of an update on what's been going on and what's been happening. Update number one, we got a cat. We just pulled her out of a little nap, so I don't know if she's gonna be very cooperative, but she might stay. She's from our very lovely friends Meg and Brendan. We couldn't be more grateful to have her in our house because she's just so lovely. She's a tabby, yeah?
She's a mix.
She's 6 years old and she's gorgeous. Her name is Belle. Oh, I love having a cat. I've always been a dog girly. I've never ever been a cat girly because I never had pets growing up, except for a rabbit, which we didn't have for that long. Lol, if you know, you know. But I've always wanted a dog because all of my friends always had dogs and I loved them. But only when I started dating Daniel, he grew up with a million cats and dogs in his family, but he has always loved cats. He was like, all right, if you want a dog and a cat, we've got to get a cat first because we're going to be living in an apartment and we can't have a dog in an apartment because I don't personally think that that's quite fair, especially if we got a big dog, which is what we would have wanted. But I was like, okay, so I have to like be a cat girly now. And I've really grown to love them. And I'm so like, I think since we got married, since we moved into this home as well, like I've wanted a cat so bad. But we've been waiting to get over that Singapore trip because we're gone for a while and we didn't want to get a cat and have her get used to someone else looking after her or coming in to feed her and stuff without us. So we finally have a cat and I love that we got to home her for Meg and Brendan, and we're gonna see how she goes and maybe get a kitten in a few months or so. See if that works for her. She's so chill. She's such a lovely, sweet girl. I have no complaints. Although she likes boys better than girls, and that kind of sucks for me. Our other update is Singapore was awesome. You just saw my very, very long vlog, the longest one I've ever filmed / ever edited. So many cuts, it was insane. I had a fun time though, editing it, and thinking as well, our kids are gonna be able to watch that one day, and even for us to look back on it a few years from now would be really cool. It was Daniel's first ever international trip and first time meeting my extended family, so it was a lot, but we tried to balance the trip out with meeting family and also exploring the island. I think we did an okay job. We didn't get that much time to ourselves, but that's okay. It was really weird because when I went there, in my head, I didn't think it would be any different for me because obviously I go back as much as I can. And I've been going back ever since I migrated to Australia. But I didn't think that this trip would be any different, which is a little bit silly because I'm going back as a married woman and I'm bringing my husband. And of course the trip's gonna be different because I'm literally introducing my family and friends to this new person in my life. So I got there and I was like, things are different. Why are they different? Also, it was the time of the month, so my hormones and emotions were just all over the place, but it was a good different, and I think it's the best trip I've ever had yet. I usually try and go every 2 years, but because COVID, I didn't really get the chance to do that. Yeah, I love you, all of my Singapore family and friends, and I miss you dearly. Post Singapore, Daniel got sick, really sick. He doesn't sleep on planes, so he was up for 27 hours, which is insane. Got home, fell asleep, and that's when his sickness started. He is still currently sick because he has viral pneumonia. I think it developed into that. I don't think that he got pneumonia from get-go. I think he got sick and then was on top of that exhausted. So it just developed into pneumonia. So he's still battling with that, poor guy. I got sick in between that, maybe in the 2nd or 3rd week I got sick, and I was only sick for about 4 or 5 days. I'm really lucky that I didn't get pneumonia, but that's been a pretty big thing that we're dealing with. He's dealing with it, but that we're dealing with post Singapore because he just doesn't have the energy. And it's hard to see your loved one be so sick and uncomfortable and just completely over it, because there's always a limit that someone can handle being sick and fatigued for. It almost becomes this chronic illness, but hopefully he comes to full recovery at some point and soon. Another update, my car broke down. My dear car. I love this baby. It's a Toyota Yaris 2006, but it has been through my whole entire family. Like, it is an old car. It's definitely done the job though. Like, we got it secondhand. I think my dad drove it for a little bit, and then my mum drove it, and then my older sister drove it, and then my other sister drove it for like forever. And then I bought it off her. I've been driving it for about 2-3 years. It's just getting to the point where it's a bit old, and it's getting to the point where it's becoming a fixer-upper, and it's not worth the fixing anymore, if that makes sense. So it's time to let go of my baby. Throughout my whole family, no one has named her. I've named her Ava in this last run of her life. I don't get to drive my little zippy Toyota anymore, but my lovely husband is very generous and he's let me kind of share his car. It's kind of sad, but also really nice to drive a safe car, because for a whole minute there, every time I drove down the highway, I would be like, gotta have NRMA on speed dial because I think I'm gonna break down. I think more general life updates now. I think if you saw one of the first few videos on my channel, I think it was the welcome to my channel one, you would know that last year I had like a million different jobs. I'm down to one. It's just working at a cafe, which is awesome. And I get to spend the rest of my time doing content creation, which I really like. It's just a motorbike, and which is a really good like creative outlet for me. I'm also toying with the idea of creating a business to do with flowers, but I'm not sure yet. I often look back on last year, because it was a very crazy year for myself, and think, wow, how far have I come? I feel like my life is a lot more stable and steady and a bit more peaceful instead of like chaotic. I also wanted to talk about my hair growth, because that's a thing that I've been keeping you updated on. Golly gee. It's been a moment with this hair. I feel like growing it out has been really hard. I can't lie about it. I don't take back ever shaving my head. It was so liberating, and honestly, if I did not want it long again, I would be shaving it all the time. But like, my desire for it to be long again outweighs me wanting to shave it again. I'm sure later down the track and later in life, I'll probably shave it again. But yeah, growing it out is hard because it doesn't happen like that. And this stage is so awkward. It's definitely challenging me creatively, because I have to come up with different hairstyles that make me feel confident in my appearance. Even from the very start with this whole head shaving thing, I feel like I've had to look inside for my beauty and my femininity. Like, I think I always knew that femininity isn't about your outward appearance, but it's a lot about like who you are as a person. Like, it's not how you appear. You know, social standards and the world tells you that your appearance dictates how beautiful you are and how femme you are. When I cut off all my hair, I don't stereotypically fit those beauty standards anymore, but that obviously doesn't determine at all that I'm not beautiful. And it was just like a thing that I had to relearn. Like, I think I'm always relearning that, but it's been a journey. Like, it's been really tough, like for a few months there before it got to this like I can comb it over kind of stage. Like, I'd had a few nights where I would just like cry to Daniel and be like, what the hell? Why did I do this? Because I just had a moment of like insecurity. That's just me being real. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you and be like, it's been so good. I think when you get to the growing out stage, it can be really tough. But again, it challenges your creativity and it challenges your mindset on what it feels and looks like to be feminine and beautiful. But yeah, that was another thing I wanted to touch on. Last but not least, I also wanted to touch on a little bit of my New Year's resolutions. I kind of forgot what some of them were, but I want to see if I've like kept up my resolutions, like a little mid-year check-in. I'm gonna get them up now to see what I wrote. Okay, my ins. But the first one was prioritizing my health and my mind and my body. I think I've been doing that well, actually. The next couple of sessions, I think my therapist and I are gonna be talking about going on a break, which is really exciting. I feel like I haven't had my mental health at this like stable, steady place, peaceful place in quite a long time. So I'm pretty proud of myself and all the work that I've put in to get it to this place. So that's exciting. I definitely could work on my body health a little bit more. I'm trying to like not make it toxic and do it for myself and for the health of my body and not for like appearances. Like I think I can do it for my appearances too, but I think that needs to be coming from a good place and not for like societal standards. I'm just trying to like make sure that I work on my body health for the right reasons. I'm working on it, so that means I am kind of fulfilling the resolution. The next two are read more and then have intentional, honest, and authentic relationships. I think the reading part, I could probably do a bit more. That's kind of gone downhill actually compared to what I was doing at the back half of last year. The relationships one, 20s is such a weird time of your life. It's hard to find people who share the same expectations in what a friendship is like as well, because I feel like everyone defines friendship a little bit differently. So I've definitely been fulfilling that resolution, but I think it's been hard me figuring out who the real ones are, as well as because like all my friends, all of the ones that I've already established are my real ones, live interstate or have moved away. But I could work on it a little bit more, I can't lie, but I'm just doing it at my own pace. The last two are spending more time in nature and getting better at baking and cooking. The baking and cooking one, I have been slaying. You will see on my Instagram that I've been slaying that. And I feel like I've had a few baking moments in my YouTube videos too. The nature one, I need to start doing that. I haven't started doing that yet. And honestly, winter is the worst time to do that because it's cold and rainy and no one wants to be outside. Everyone wants to be cozied up on the couch, but I'm gonna make a conscious effort. All right, my outs. Negative self-talk. I can happily say that that has decreased a whole lot, hence the steady, stable mental health. But I'm proud of myself for that one. It's obviously not completely gone, but I'm able to manage it. And it's less than, which is awesome. The other two are living for other people's expectations and doom scrolling. Living for other people's expectations one, again, it's been hard, but I think I'm doing it well. I think I've been checking in with myself and checking in with God and checking in with Daniel and figuring out what we want our life to look like. I really started working on that one in the middle of last year, and I think I've withheld that standard really well. So, green tick for me. Doom scrolling, I am not significantly better and not doing that, but I'm a little bit better. So I'm gonna take that as a win. Being busy and retail therapy. I think the only shopping spree I've had is in Singapore, and I think that that is totally appropriate because you're on holiday. So I'm really proud of myself for the retail therapy one. The being the busy one, I think I've healthily fulfilled that one too. I'm still making sure that I get out and about, but I think I've done better at making and carving out enough time for myself, which is like, go me. Not trying to be prideful or anything, but I'm very glad that out of 10 resolutions, I have kept up more than half of them. I'm glad I did this check-in because it's very encouraging to keep fulfilling them and to start on the ones that I haven't necessarily worked on yet. And just to remind myself on what I wanted this year to kind of feel and look like. There's also one down the bottom and it says taking social seriously, which I think I've done really well this year because I haven't sat down and spoken to you guys about it yet. But thank you so much for like 110, I think I'm up to, 110 subscribers. I genuinely, I've said this before, but I feel like the number may be small to you, but for me, 100 people is a lot, more than the amount that we had at our wedding. So thank you for subscribing and coming along on this journey of my life. It's a bit cringe, but it is what it is. Thank you for always coming back and watching my videos. Thank you for supporting me. Like, I'm so grateful. This is ridiculous. I can't believe there's 110 of you on my channel. It makes me very happy. It's fulfilling that little girl's dreams. But that brings me to the end of the video today. I think I've rambled on long enough. I love chatting with y'all. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you all so much. Comment down below something you're grateful in your life at the moment, because I feel like I've been in that state of mind where I've been able to look at life from eyes above, which is what my therapist has taught me, give me a little bit of perspective and see all the blessings sprinkled throughout. And it's a really healthy mindset to be in. Alongside that, make sure to do all the things like, subscribe, share, click that notification bell to make sure that you see what I post every week. Remember to be kind to one another, guys. Belle and I will see you next week. Bye. She's over it. Stay. I swear, if she stays here for now, while I'm trying to get up and end this video, when she could have been here the whole time, I'm gonna be upset. She's getting comfy. The girl is getting comfy in my lap. When you could have been comfy the whole time,